Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Marvel Legends Face-Off Series Hulk. Now there's one variant of this guy. It has the open mouth. This one is obviously the plain one with the closed mouth. This is a re-review because I've had actually a lot of people ask me to re-review this guy even though I didn't do it too long ago. I guess just because the Avengers movie came out and people wanted to see this. This is widely accepted as the best all-around Hulk figure in the Legends line. I don't know if I would actually go that far, but it is one of the best looking Hulk figures, mostly because the articulation is designed to look good and not to function well. Anyway, he stands roughly 8¼ inches tall, so he definitely has some size on your standard Legends, and he has a much more realistic sculpt throughout, even the face, the body, everything, much more realistic looking figure. And most of the reason they were able to accomplish that is because the articulation on this guy is pretty junky. It's not very good at all, which is why I don't put him at the top, but he is definitely one of the best looking, and I could definitely understand why people like him over some of the other figures. As far as the articulation goes for the head, he does have a little bit up and down, and then side to side, no problem. The shoulders, not so bad in the hinge for the ball hinge. They do come up, but they get really stiff. You can pretty much get the shoulders to do what you want, but as you can see, they're not circular. They're kind of ovular shaped, teardrop shaped almost, so you do have some troubles. And then, just like most of the other face-off figures, the QC wasn't very good for this line at all, so you have to be really careful with that, but it looks really good, so if you don't mind not posing him much, that's fine. Bicep swivel works really well, but the tricep goes so far up on it that it's really hard to not hit this part when you're trying to rotate that. Single jointed elbow with minimal range of motion. That's all the way out. That's all the way bent. So not quite 45 degrees. We have a wrist swivel, but doesn't look good because of the way it's done. So, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. We have a wrist hinge, which would be fine. That's no problem at all. But then we have these hands that are just, I don't know what they're going for with that hand sculpt. It doesn't look good. It just looks like he has arthritis. And then we have this hinge for the fingers, which doesn't let him grab stuff. Still looks dumb. It just doesn't look good. I don't know. That's one of my least liked things on this figure is the hand sculpts. And then this one, at least it looks like a normal open hand, but that hinge, it's pretty much pointless. So I'm not sure why they didn't just give him fists or something. He has to basically just be in a walking pose or a standing pose in order to not look goofy. No torso articulation at all other than the waist swivel, which gives us a nice sculpt, but articulation is important for a Marvel Legends figure. For the hips, we get T-jointed hips, but the range of motion is minimal due to the sculpt. They do have the hinge in there, so they can go out to the side. I guess that's okay. Thigh swivel's built in. Single jointed knee, it actually works pretty well. It's not great, but it's not bad. As far as whether or not you like that particular sculpt slash joint combo, that's up to you. It's not my favorite, but it works well enough. As far as the ankle goes, this is really unique kind of articulation, and it's really good looking again, but it doesn't work very well. The ankle hinge is right there, which is okay, but then we have this ankle rocker. It just, I don't know, I guess it works better than I remembered. Better than probably most of the current ones. So to be completely honest, the ankles aren't that bad. I remember not liking them as much, but see, this is why re-reviews are important sometimes. That ankle rocker works better than I remember it, so that's okay. I do wish, though, very similarly to the newest Hulk figures for the Avengers movie, you can't bring that foot up at all, so you can't really bend his knee that much unless you're going to use the toe joint, which does work pretty well. He's got a really decent toe hinge. So, contrary to what I remember, the ankles and toe joints are much better than I thought, so that's pretty good. Your basic limitations are really just going to be the elbow, well, basically the arm, including the hand. So otherwise, he's pretty good, so that's not so bad. So I know you guys are curious about how he stacks up to maybe like the Hulkbuster, or maybe Captain America or something. So in the photos, make sure you stick around for that so you can see what he does look like once you get him posed a little bit and put up against another figure. But I do recommend it. It's a cool figure, good looking, and then the setbacks aren't that bad. So I think I'm probably going to recommend it if you're a Hulk fan. Go grab one before they get even more valuable, because they are becoming harder and harder to find. One thing I just realized, it looks like in the video his torso is going to look like a much different color green than the arms. That is not apparent on the figure in person. So don't worry about that. It's not nearly as bad. The shading that you see throughout the arms is kind of brownness here, and then heavy shading here. That is like that. The paint's not great on this guy, just like all the other face-off figures. So be aware of that. But the rest is pretty good. So I would say pick him up if you can. So click that like button if you like this video, guys. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.